Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to take a look here at Near Protocol. We looked at this fairly recently, but it has since pulled back, and we want to see if this is a good entry. In fact, look at how close this alert was. Dang it, missed that little opportunity to possibly get in. So we'll just reevaluate and see what's going on here, if it's worth a long, short, whatever. We'll double check that. I do want to say thank you to No Way 2563 for requesting I cover Near. I'll go ahead and put render on the list as well. Definitely appreciate the request there. So what we want to do here is take a look at a few key factors. Just before we do, quick little heads up, we did partner here recently with Blofin exchange. That's a good exchange, no KYC, no VPN. They give you an offer, a bonus essentially offer between now and the November 20th. So be sure to link down below for that exclusive offer. What I want to talk about though is a couple things. First of all, when we talked about this last, we were ascending positively. We lost that ascending trend. So we'll go ahead and remove that, but we do need to note that we're now below the 50 and the 20-day SMA. So generally speaking, you're trading into a resistance level now that is the case. So even though this is a nice little dip to have potentially bought, we need to make sure that we recognize that we may not be in a better position now than we were previously. Okay. What I mean by that here is that we're somewhere in between the weekly close and the weekly open. So we're kind of just treading water, so to speak, without price discovery, at least recent discovery. So what we're going to do is we're just going to look at a few things here on the daily, work our way down, redraw out some new fibs, and kind of see roughly what we're looking at here as a better case scenario. Okay. So what we want to look at first of all is just to clarify this previous resistance level here at about 153 did not hold as a support, so that could potentially reaffirm itself as a new resistance. Okay. We also have somewhat of a volume resistance. If you look at this here, tremendous amount of volume in the 147, 148 range, also potentially disadvantageous for the price action to recover. Furthermore, tremendous amount of volume down here and roughly 135. We'll worry about that later. Good news is though, 135 is an area in which both moving averages are kind of hanging out. So the 20-day and the 200 are both kind of chilling right there in that range. It's a good sign. Tells us we are potentially, we do potentially have a larger upward momentous trend that we could be honoring here. Okay. So again, just note the short-term trend has discontinued. This long-term trend that's running concurrent with some moving averages on the daily could be a positive swing there for us here. Okay, let's take a quick look at this potential recovery and see roughly where the price action might have some difficulty if it does continue to progress upwards. Let's quickly look first of all at the RSI. We're under 50 on the RSI. Money flow index is low. Not a good sign. Never typically want to buy into that, but I do believe you want to buy red candles and sell green candles. Okay, so typically, if you kind of think about this, this is a red candle, so to speak, on the larger time frame. And it might be advantageous to consider buying the dip. What I mean by that here is that we have the MACD is starting to converge, so we got a shift in momentum. We are up to a 2 right now. We have potential to continue much higher, of course. I'm a little concerned with this volume, of course, but once again, we are closer to the upper side of that lower volume half, so truth is we might actually be able to continue upwards from here. Again, I'm not loving that we're below those moving averages there, but generally speaking, with the volume being low, I would recommend waiting a little bit to take entry, or at least seeing more volume and the price breaking above 50 on the RSI, that would give me much more confidence. If the price does continue higher, though, keep in mind, Elliott Wave does believe here that this could be the lowest point in which we'll go. In other words, it's the first lower low from the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pattern. And if you're not familiar, 3 higher highs and 2 higher lows. We've seen 2 higher highs. This is technically the second higher low. We are due for a third higher high. Okay, so that could very well be the proof in the pudding here, letting us know that the price action should and will likely continue higher. The recommendation, though, is to consider waiting for confirmation and just wait and see what happens with Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is having a decent day here today. Okay, Bitcoin has a bad day. You do got to recognize bad things could happen. All right, so again, these are the signals that we've been receiving here, or taking rather. My community members have been taking some nice profits. So again, congrats on that. I wanted to show you quickly in our education section, just something to be mindful of. Again, I reaffirmed this a lot of other videos. You've probably seen this by now. I'm sorry. It's a repeat behavior, but Bitcoin dominance is up and the price of Bitcoin is up. You gotta recognize altcoins are gonna go down as a result of that. With altcoins surging right now, that's because Bitcoin is doing well. You saw yesterday Bitcoin had a mild struggle from 36,000 or 35.8 down to 35.2. And when it did that, we saw a massive correction in alts. So just know, down or dump is the 2 possible case scenarios here for some altcoins, and this would be no exception. Okay, just take that with a grain of salt, however you want to interpret that. Knowledge is power, as they say, right? But you don't want to inundate yourself with too much information, but I think that's a good thing to kind of know. Keep it in the back in your brain just so you recognize, hey, okay, things are going crazy right now. Maybe I should be careful. This is another reason here to not consider a long position, at least not yet. Looks like we're getting close though. In other words, conversion lines above the baseline, that's great. We want to wait for confirmation outside of the cloud. So typically, if the price were to come up to say 151 and possibly be above the cloud at that point within the next 12 to 24 hours, that would be a consideration for a long. Okay, what I'm going to do is set an alert here, see if the price breaks that level. And if so, and we're above the cloud, it might be worthwhile because we got that volume profile to be working as a support level. We're in that range. We just want to be in the upper half of it. The lagging span is also not free and clear of the price action. So we've got basically 2 out of 3 indicators saying do not take a long. The other one says a long might happen. Okay? Again, this is where patience pays off. Buying the dip all the time doesn't always work. You want to buy the dip effectively, and if the dip ends up giving us confirmation that we're on the right side of the tracks, that's the dip you want to buy. Those are the kinds I like to look for and wait for patiently so myself and my community members are profitable. I hate stop losses. I do not like liquidation. Those things, well, liquidation rarely occurs. In fact, it never does with our community because we have realistic stop losses in place. And just give you perspective here, this was last month's recovery, or results rather. We did have 3 stop losses that took place, but majority of the profits averaged out to 1,200%, 90% success rate. So you pick your poison, of course, choose what you want, but that is there for you if you want to become a premium member. Link down below. So the long story short here is I'm going to send out the playout chart on our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord so you know roughly what I'm thinking. But the quick summary is that we should probably wait for confirmation, even though it seems attractive and juicy to jump in right now. There's a decent chance we could continue this lower low and lower high pattern to effectively potentially reverse. Okay. Once more, patience is key. Try to be patient and not just jump in and FOMO in because the rest of the market is green. FOMO candles get you burnt, and you just need to learn from your mistakes. And if you're making mistakes consistently, maybe consider becoming a better trader. Okay? You can do that with my Trading Academy, Communities, and Signal Group. Link down below. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks again so much for your time. We'll see you all in the next video, and thanks again. All right, take care. Goodbye.